Welcome to the Hilarity Ensues podcast, hosted by Donna, the queen of quick wit, and Jeff, the dean of devious double entendres. Together, they're on a mission to find the funny in life using nothing but their critical thinking skills and sarcasm.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hilarity Ensues. I'm your host, Donna, and joining me here today is my co-host,
Jeff.
All right, we're back at it again. Today's show is about those cult classic films. Some of them aren't even cult classics, and we'll kind of define the different what makes a movie a cult classic. But movies that we adored growing up, fast forward, we watch them today and you're like, why did I even like that movie? Like, what was I thinking? And I will say this, sometimes it's because of how far we have advanced in cinematography that we're like, this was really bad, because we had things being recorded in 4K and high definition and all kinds of stuff like that. And you look at something and the color isn't as vibrant, the screen, the shooting of the movie isn't as dynamic. So you're comparing it to old technology. Now, I will define here what makes a film a cult classic. Okay. Typically, it's low budget. Low budget, low resources, a lot of confidence, a lot of attitude. The acting is somewhat questionable.
Yep.
But they seem to have these one-liners, these unforgettable moments. And with those unforgettable moments and those one-liners, they build a loyal following anyway. Okay. So one of the films that you always talk about, and I've watched it a couple of times, and I'm like,
it's awesome.
This stuff is bad.
Oscar award winning, multiple Oscar. How dare you?
You know what? Excuse me for my poor judgment, but in 1975, the movie Dolomite came out.
Yes, one of my favorites of all time.
And so, that was a movie that I may have watched it later on and just forgot about it because it was that bad. But I would hear you quote lines from this all the time. And I'm like, let me watch this. And I sat there and I'm like, what the hell does Jeff see? Straight up trash. It's so much trash. The acting is so bad. The fight scenes are ridiculously bad. It's kind of those air punches and with the sound effects to follow. It's just horrible.
It's like an old school, like an SNL skit. And think of it as like junk food for your eyes and ears. It's kind of like that. Like it's your guilty pleasure, because it's a bad movie. I'm agreeing with you, Wonder. It's one of the most horrible movies, but it's a cult. I mean, by your definition, it's a cult classic, and they got tons of one-liners, horrible acting. As you mentioned, the fight scenes are ridiculous. The lead does not even look like, he claims to be a kung fu master. He doesn't look like he's worked out in 20 years. Rudy Ray Moore, good old Dolomite. Yeah, great movie.
And so fast forward, because I'm gonna go off of that. Eddie Murphy did a movie.
Yes. And
was it Dolomite Is My Name?
Something like that. Yeah. So that's another solid, message that this is a cult classic that Eddie Murphy decided to basically he produced this, I believe. He really was like a passion project because he loved it, watching it growing up. But it was bad though. I mean, oh my goodness. I got a couple one-liner. I'm going to censor myself because this is a family show, but there was a few lines, but there's one time where he gets cornered by the dirty cops. It's all, the whole thing is a meme, and he's a pimp, by the way. And all the women love him. If you look up Rudy Ray Moore, just look at him and just go from there. But anyway, so they're trying to prevent him to getting to his car, and the guy's blocking him. And he said, quote, "Move over and let me pass before somebody gonna have to pull these hush puppies out your mother beep ass." He said that with no voice inflection, just louder. And, people looking at their lines. At least twice, you see the boom, like the mic hanging from the top of the screen. You could see that drop. They did not have the budget to cut that. They just said, F it. It's in the scene. It's in the scene. It is so crazy.
Yeah, I think Eddie Murphy made that movie because he had an affinity for Rudy Ray Moore and Dolomite and stuff like that. And so 2019, I believe that movie came out. So if you haven't seen that, there was a lot more of a budget for Eddie Murphy's movie, naturally, of course, because this is Eddie Murphy and he has the pockets for that. He had some really great talent in that movie as well, but it was intentional, the bad acting, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, we're going to really parody this movie that came out back in 1975. And part of the love for it was the bad acting. Shucks, Wesley Snipes was in that movie.
Really? I did not know that. I never saw the remake. I don't want to
you never did?
The classic original. I wanted to pay respect to the OG movie.
Oh, gosh. Let me tell you. Actually, and Rudy Ray Moore made an appearance in that movie.
Oh, that's awesome. Shout out.
So Wesley Snipes, Mike Epps, Chris Rock was in it, Craig Robinson, Keegan Michael was in it, Snoop Dogg was in it.
There's a lot. I love the name.
Titus Burgess was in it. T.I. was in it. So there was a lot of, Lunel was in it. There's a lot of well-known actors and actresses that were in this film.
Mm-hmm.
So that have talent, but it was a funny film. It was really funny. And Divine Joy, she played a leading role. She did a phenomenal job in that role as well. But you know what? Have I seen it more than once? No, I have not.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, funny quick story about the Dolomite, one of my favorites. Everybody listening should know who Jean-Claude Van Damme is, right? Very serious.
Yes.
Well, not serious actor, but respected actor.
Mm-hmm.
And this is in around 1990-ish. And he was on the Arsenio Hall show getting interviewed. Mm-hmm. And his second or third movie, he's already made it big. So he's big budget films. And he's like, I think it was Universal Soldier. I'm not 100% sure, but it was one of his earlier films, about 4 deep in. So Arsenio's like, well, what's it about? He starts explaining it. And he's like, yeah, that sounds good. Did you bring a clip? So he's like, a clip? No, they didn't give me a clip. So he goes, don't worry, I got a clip. So Jean-Claude's looking like perplexed, like, how the hell do you have a clip of my movie? He goes, don't worry. They dimmed the lights. They play not the opening scene, but it's like a scene about 2 or 3 minutes into Dolomite, the fight scene that you're probably quoting. With
the trunk of the car?
The trunk. Open up the trunk. There's nothing in my trunk, man. And it showed, the camera showing the film, like the clip, and it's showing Jean-Claude's face. And he's like, you can read his lips, like, what the F is going on? He had no idea what this was. And it has a karate kick that was like a foot away. The guy jumps into the trunk. Oh, it's a great scene. But yeah, the look, he was like, man, that was amazing. That had me rolling. That was just, Arsenio has a sick sense of humor. And I love them for doing that.
Yes, he does. I'm going to segue and we're going to get onto bad movies. Okay. But you brought up Arsenio Hall. Recently, I think he wrote a book, and as if everybody's writing a book now, but he wrote a book and he talks about his time on his show through Paramount. And the network, he struggled a lot with the network because he was bringing a lot of talent on. He was introducing a lot of urban talent. Mm-hmm. And when we talk about urban talent, it's not necessarily actually only Black talent, because the executives used to play his show like as background and they didn't really watch it. And they were like, today's show, you kept using the word brother. You're going to be alienating a large viewing demographic by doing only that. He said, well, their point was that he's showing favoritism to his Black guests that come on, right?
Yeah.
And he said, well, if you'd watched the show, that was Mark Wahlberg from Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Wow.
He was like, I call everybody brother.
Same. I do the same. I don't know if I got it from him, but I call whoever. It doesn't matter. If you would do it, brother, woman, sister. That's how it works. Security
pulled him over coming out the gate one day and said that there was reported theft from the lot where his show was being filmed from. Things were being stolen, and they wanted to search his car. Well, needless to say, he cussed them out because he was like, one, it's my show, and that would be me stealing from myself.
I know. Makes no sense. I kind of
It
vaguely
makes
remember
absolute,
this. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm curious about what his book has to say.
I
I
want to
don't
see.
think I'll go out and buy it, but I'm curious. Back on to bad movies.
Yes.
Next on the list, Chevy Chase, Fletch.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah. Here's his one-liner. You did see Fletch, right? Or
I
no?
saw it once. I saw
Once.
it once.
I saw a
And I
bunch.
never watched it again. No, no, no. I don't torture myself like that. No, we're not doing
Yes.
that.
It was another bad movie, higher budget. It was goofy. I can't remember that much of it, but I have seen it a bunch of times. But he had a bunch of weird, strange one-liners. So basically, he was an investigator, and some rich woman got her husband killed, and he was going undercover as this guy. So
Mhm.
whatever he had scheduled in his life, he had to do. So these
Mhm.
people pre-internet, so you could just say, "Hey, I'm Joe," not Joe Blow, but I'm Joe Smith, whatever. He goes, "Yeah, come on in for your doctor's appointment." He goes in there, and he's like, "What am I here for?" And he goes, "Yeah, we're gonna do a checkup." So he goes, "Yeah, just go ahead and bend over the table, drop your drawers." And he's like, "Hey, doc," da, da, da. He's talking to him, and then he reaches in there and he goes, "Moon River." He starts singing. I was like, yo, that's some dedication to go undercover. Later
Yeah.
on, there was a pretty nice looking lady there that answered the door in nothing but a towel. My man said, "Excuse me, ma'am, can I borrow your towel? My car just hit a water buffalo." I don't know why. It's so corny, but it's so funny. I was like, yo, if I ever see that in real life, I'm going to have to borrow that line. A bunch of line. It was very silly, and it was crazy. I liked it. I mean, not a huge fan of Chevy Chase now, but I can separate the person from the character. Also like the National Lampoon's Vacation, which is pretty hilarious too.
Yeah. No, I only watched it one time. Not much of a Chevy Chase fan. I'm going to throw another one into the mix. Fast
Okay.
forward 1995. And the only reason why it's coming up, because I said, let me watch it yesterday.
Friday?
Dangerous Minds.
Dangerous Minds. I don't.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Okay. It's a
The
drama.
Danger in the Hood?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that was what it's called? Okay, I did see that, or part of it anyway.
So
funny.
exactly. So I remember it had a really great score because Coolio did the score. So amazing soundtrack.
Rest in peace.
And yes, rest in peace. And yesterday I was like, I was looking for something to watch, and that came across, and I was like, oh, let me watch this. And I sat, and I want to say I didn't give it a solid 10 minutes in. I was like, this movie was really corny. I'm like, as someone that grew up in the New York City public school system, granted, this is based out of LA or something like that. So kind of the same. I'm like, there's no way she could have come into any classroom and just by changing from her, casual corner suit, for those of you in our age demographic, you'll remember, you'll know the reference.
That made me laugh.
And the next day coming in her cowboy boots, denim and leather jacket, and thinking, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna teach karate, and I'm gonna hand out candy bars, and I'm gonna tell them that they're all A students and they have to work to keep that A, and that's the way it works. That's the way you win over the troubled youth.
It is crazy. I mean, it was super unrealistic. That's all I remember. It's like there's no way in hell this will work. I mean, we're supposed to suspend belief. It's a movie. We get it, but it's like sometimes it just goes too far.
Yeah, it's like, and then it was just, I sat there and I was like, no, this is horrible. That you got hardened criminals in this classroom. They're not moving. They're not bending the knee to you just because you changed your clothes. It's ridiculous. And Courtney B. Vance was in that movie. I forgot about that.
I forgot about that too. I'm trying to remember where he was in that movie.
He played the uptight principal.
Okay.
That
I could picture him doing that.
Got upset when people would barge into his office without knocking on the door. But Courtney B. Vance, he was in that movie. So I was like, okay. I didn't remember her in it. I'm looking at the credits. Lorraine Toussaint, she was in that as well. She's a sister. You've probably seen her. She's Trinidadian ancestry.
She looks familiar. Okay. All right. I've seen her before.
Yeah. I don't remember her in that. Oh, yeah, I do remember. She was the mother. She was the mother of the young girl that got pregnant. But yeah, it was just, I was like, nah, let me not spend any more time in this movie.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
So Dangerous Minds hit my list. Sorry, Michelle Pfeiffer, because I really do like you. And I think you've done some amazing work, but nah. Now we're gonna go back in time because you mentioned this movie,
Yes, one of my favorites too.
Big
Jack
Trouble in
Burton.
Little China.
Yes, yes. Jack Burton, aka Kurt Russell. And as you mentioned in notes, very confusing plot lines. It starts out as one thing, then it just turns into like a supernatural kung fu fight out of nowhere. He's a truck driver. Did he run over a guy? I think he ran over Lopan or something like that. I forgot how it
Hmm.
started, but he's driving the truck. He ran over a dude. He thought he killed him. He turned around, the dude's still alive. Then there's this supernatural fight where these guys are like throwing lightning and flying in the air. And there's this famous scene where Jack Burton pulls out his knife. Like he pulls out this little knife. Like, what are you going to do with that knife? But if you watch it carefully in slow motion, it's a rubber knife. So he whips the knife out. It wobbles. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm like, come on, bro. At least have a real metal knife. But yeah, he was very sure of himself because he knew that some of these guys couldn't even be killed. And he's like, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take this guy down. He goes, who is this man? And the guy's like, Jack Burton. And he's like, who? The Asian guy. He's like, who? He goes, Jack Burton. He said it louder, like, bro, I don't know who you are, but you're about to get killed up in here. But yeah, it was a lot of comedy. And then his boy, this other Asian dude that knew a lot of kung fu, he wound up doing most of the fighting. And it's just funny because Kurt, had the big name and whatnot. He was the quote unquote star, but the guy doing most of the ass kicking was the little Asian man fighting guys that he couldn't even kill. But it was very entertaining. I want the Chinese girl with the green eyes. I was like, my brother and I still say that to this day. I don't know why, but yeah, the guy was obsessed with Chinese girls with green eyes, and he lived, I guess his name was Lo Pan. He was some kind of local restaurant owner, but he also doubled as a almost unkillable, I guess, vampire, for lack of a better word. But he needed to do bloodletting to live. It was a very, very strange movie, to say the least. But every time it came on Cinemax or HBO or whatever, we would watch it and just laugh. But yeah, it was very entertaining.
Okay, I'm going to go back to now 1981. I'm going to throw another one into the mix here.
Yeah.
Mommy Dearest with Faye Dunaway.
I did not see that movie. I've seen
did
part
not?
of it. I did not see that movie.
Actually, there's clips of the movies that kind of resonate with people, but basically it starred Faye Dunaway, and she portrayed the life of Joan Crawford. It was a psychological horror. It showed what a horrible, horrible woman Joan Crawford was.
Yeah,
she was not wrapped too tight in the head at all. But there's one scene that sticks with me to this day, and it's probably why I don't have any wire hangers in my closet.
Yes, I knew it was that one. Yeah, you brought that up.
No more wire hangers.
Yes.
$300 dress and you have it on a wire hanger.
Yes, she did not like wire hangers. I did see that scene because of you.
Why do you hate me so much? Damn, it's a wire hanger.
That is a line. Yeah, that scene is pretty crazy.
And she was very OCD. So, she's like, come in here and clean with me. And it's dark tile 1. Okay, I'm gonna set the stage. I'm gonna go ahead and set the stage. Dark tile, navy blue, and she's spraying Comet all over it.
OMG.
You know how hard it is to get Comet or Ajax film off of something that's dark?
Yeah, that's ridiculous that she would do that.
That was one. Then she had like 2 kids that she adopted. And first of all, she didn't leave them no money when she died.
Terrible.
None whatsoever. But she also, she wanted them to eat their meat raw. Like rare. Okay. I know you like your meat a little bloody, right?
Right. Medium rare, cooked a little bit. Yeah.
No, hers was like blood still on the plate. And this little girl is like, I don't want to eat this. And she's like, well, put it in the fridge. And then in the morning, she puts it back out on the table for her for breakfast. I'm like, this woman is gangster. I'm like, she is not wrapped tight at all. But yeah, it was, and I think it was over the top because actors of that time were very over top in how they acted, their presence and stuff. It's a bad film. However, for me, it has some underlying trauma that has been left behind with the wire hangers. But yeah, and I think we kind of hit on quite a few here. Oh, Dr. Detroit,
Yes, against mom.
1983. Yeah, 1983.
My grandfather owned your grandfather, your mama. Boom. That was Dr. Detroit. I still really don't fully understand the plot. I've seen this movie a bunch of times, but not recently. But Dan Aykroyd was in there, and he had to fill in for somebody that was either missing or dead. I can't remember what the deal was, but he had to play. He was kind of like a pimp slash drug dealer, and he was
Hmm.
he had straight up like a square job. I think he was some kind of accountant. He was some kind of businessman, or he worked in some kind of corporation, and they had a conference call
Hmm.
after an orgy the night before. Like he was a straight up dude, like a super nerd, and he had an orgy with like 3 girls the night before. And one of the girls calls. She goes, Cliff. Of course, the Asian girl with the stereotypical can't pronounce words, the L. She said, Cliff,
Hmm.
I'm still tingling from last night. This is in a room full of like board directors, like really stuffy old men, and they're looking at him like, bro, what kind of lifestyle are you living right now? But yeah, there was a lot of gunfire, drug use, and just absolute insanity when he was trying to pretend to be somebody he wasn't. But he needed to have some kind of injury to get out of something. I forgot. I really have to see the movie, but he needed something to get either into the hospital or show that he had the injury to get out of another situation. So his friend Diablo, I cannot think of that dude's name, but the brother, rest in peace, he died recently. He kept trying to get him mad because I need you to hit me, and he wouldn't hit him because they were friends, and
Hmm.
kept trying to goad him on and on. That's where he said, "My grandfather owned your grandfather," and he said, "Your mama," and then punched
Okay.
him in the face. Now I have to go watch it and remember the whole story.
I'm gonna add another one in there. I'm gonna ask you your thoughts on it.
Okay,
Police Academy.
I love those. Yeah, I totally forgot about those until you brought. Yeah, those were definitely cult classics. They were so goofy, so corny, and I won't say horribly written, but it's just no. The plot line is just goofball, but it always worked out. But yeah, very funny. The guys keep falling for the blue oyster, like literally what 3, 4, 5 times in a row. Like, yeah, meet me at this address. You would think through the academy how people talk like whatever you do not show up to this address because the blue oyster for people who don't know is a gay bar where guys
It's a gay biker bar.
like a biker bar, like real macho looking dudes, but they're gay.
Yeah.
And they always fall for like there's some kind of meetup where the good guys trick the quote unquote bad guys into meeting them in this place. I love that. Yeah, it was really corny, but you knew what you were signing up for when you watched the movie or movies.
Here,
There's 8 of them, I think, 8 or 9.
there was a lot of double entendre in that movie. There
Hmm.
was a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of, I don't want to say sex, but there was a lot of sexual connotones within the
Yeah.
movie.
Hmm.
Um, Kim Cattrall from the TV series Sex and the City. Kim Cattrall, who played Samantha on
Hmm.
Sex and the City, she was in Police Academy.
I did not know that. I should have known
You
that. Oh, there's
go
7
back.
of them. My bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
the first one, the blonde, the really attractive blonde in
hmm.
Police Academy. That's Kim Cattrall.
Is that the one that was moaning?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That was her. Okay, I do remember that now. Yeah, with the microphone, the dude, and then who's the one that gave the BJ? That was another chick, right? There was another. They hired a hooker, and the guy that was the chief of the academy stood by the podium, and the girl hid in the podium, and she unzipped him while he was
Yes.
speaking. That
Yes.
was classic. He just kept going. He was like, "Yeah, I'm good."
So we didn't give any spoilers. So if you want to go back and watch this, now that
Yes,
Jeff has piqued your curiosity with Police Academy,
yeah. I love that series. Yeah.
here's the highlight of Police Academy because they had some well knowns in that. Steve Gutenberg, like we said, Kim Cattrall, Bubba Smith, which was the big black guy that was in there.
Yep.
But
Rest in peace.
also, this was a movie that their budget for the time when they released back in the 80s, I want to say it was 94. Yep, it was 1984.
Hmm.
Their budget was 4.8 million,
Really?
right?
Okay.
4.8 million. It grossed opening weekend 8.5 million, right?
Wow.
Which is amazing to close to double your budget.
Hmm.
And it has the box office, it's made 149.8 million at the box
That's
office.
impressive. Yeah.
So that's why we had Police Academy 1, Police Academy 2, this. It went on and on forever because it was that goofy comedy, goofy comedy with a little bit of sex, and
Right.
that kind of was, they figured out the formula for success at the box office.
They did. Yeah, they had the guy that made the sound effects. That was hilarious. Michael
Yes.
Winslow, something like that. And of course the black lady with the baby voice. And
Yes.
it's always she gets challenged, and then she starts getting loud. He gets her loud voice, and then people start standing up straight. Tackleberry, the guy that was obsessed with guns, he had guns with sizes that I didn't know existed. He was really
357. Every time he turned around, he's pulling out a different kind of gun. Yeah. 357 Magnum.
It was ready. Yeah, that was great.
Now, let me ask you this, because we kind of went through a list of things, and most of them we saw as kids when we probably should not have been watching these movies, because some of them were rated R, and we were not of age to be watching these movies. I think that's what kind of lends into the nostalgia, that restrictions weren't as tight back then as they are right now.
Not even close. I said, to interrupt that thought briefly, we had this place called Ogden 6, and when I grew up in Naperville, I think it's still there. It's a $1.50 movie. I went at Porky's came out. Well, you can do the math. I don't care about age, but it came out like in 81. I was 11. Yeah. I went in there and just handed my dollar and said, I want to see Porky's. They looked at me and they said, okay, here, it's theater number 4. I just walked in with my boys. We were 11 and 12 years old. Watching Porky's, that's full on R-rated nudity, everything. They did not give one F. They're like, their question to you is, are you not that you're 17 or above? Do you or do you not have $1? If you have $1, you can go in and see whatever the hell you want. If you could be 5 years old, if you got $1 and you can reach the counter, go on there.
Okay.
Love that movie, by the way. Great.
Oh yeah.
Great cinematography.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. That is a movie that every single prepubescent boy loved because it was the closest they could get to porn.
Yes. Oh, it was
awesome. So with that said, because things weren't as strict in the past, and because we probably were watching things that we shouldn't have been watching at the time, do you think that's what kind of lends to the nostalgia of it all for us? Is that, okay, it happened at a defining moment in time in my life, why I like it so much?
I think that's part of it. I think it's a multi-layered thing, but yeah, the age thing definitely, because a lot of these were R-rated movies, and I wasn't of age. I can't remember if the Jack Burton was. I think that might have been PG, but Dr. Detroit was R. Dolomite was R. I didn't see that till I was like way older. I was like in my mid-20s when I finally got around to seeing it. But most of those were R-rated, and I was probably too young legally to watch it. But hey, I didn't care about that. It's crazy. But that's part of it. And also they were just, especially Dolomite, it was just it was a really horrible movie. The acting, the writing, the special effects, him rolling down the hill. Oh, that's the number 2. But there's one where he's rolling down the hill naked. I'm like, why are you doing this? Who made you the hero? Like, he was the executive producer or one of the producers. But it was just everything was just so bad that it was good.
Mm-hmm. So I guess Dolomite is that one movie. If you had to list one movie that's so bad, but you'll defend it because you like it so much.
Oh, Dolomite. Sure. Okay. Yeah, Dolomite for sure.
Okay. All right. I don't think I have a movie that I'll fall on the sword that much for.
Oh, yeah.
I have to really think about that. I don't think I do, though. I don't think I do. I'm not that committed.
Really? Not even Black Belt Jones?
Not even Black Belt Jones. You know what there's another movie. It's another karate movie that I saw a bit of. It wasn't The Last Dragon. It was another one during that time. Mm-hmm. Pretty boy fighting kung fu. And I'm like, I can't remember the name of it. Oh my gosh, not Last Dragon, but it was of that time. But regardless, even Last Dragon wasn't that great either.
Mm-hmm. No, Barry Gordy's Last Dragon had Vanity in there. I love that. Show me some movies.
Because it appeases to the nature of a prepubescent.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was upset. There's no nudity in there. I want my money back.
You want my money back. You want your $1 back that you
paid
to go and see a movie that you shouldn't have been seeing anyway. But okay, I'm gonna tell you this. Speaking of ratings, Amityville Horror. Mm-hmm. When that movie came out, it was like in the mid-'80s. I was really young, and I had 2 cousins that I was spending the summer with.
Yeah.
One was
Yeah.
17, and we went to this movie. We went to see this movie. Now, let me add in, I was staying with these cousins in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And for those of you, have you seen Amityville Horror?
Parts of it. It was 79. I didn't see it till much later, but yeah, it came out. I just looked it up.
Okay, so yeah, I was way, way too young. Okay, so this uncle and my cousin, the house they lived in was one of these older Victorian homes. And my uncle, he owned the corner store. So it was a Victorian home on the corner, and the lower level was the entrance into the store on one side, and the other side, the entrance into the home. But my cousin Phyllis, her bedroom was in the attic.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. Not the ideal place after seeing that movie.
After seeing this movie, I was a little shook, and she's older than me. She was a little shook herself. Case in point, why they have these rating systems based off of age, because they know it can be traumatic for young people. But yeah, that's another movie I will never watch again either. I've seen it once and I'm good.
You're good.
Yeah.
I never saw the whole thing, but I've heard about it, and I heard it was pretty terrifying. I mean, it wasn't like Exorcist terrifying from what I understand, but it was pretty scary though.
The mere fact it's based off of a true story makes
Yes.
it scary enough.
Yes, you're like, it's real deal. Don't want to go to that house for sure.
No, don't want to go to that house. There you have it. You know, today Siskel and Ebert are not with you, but Jeff and Donna are.
Yeah.
Welcome to At the Movies with Donna and Jeff.
Yes, for sure.
Maybe that's something we could think about doing, like a movie review.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Like
I don't know how that'll work. I don't know how that works, because neither one of us go to the movies.
I know. We could watch it online. You know, they got a few services there.
Okay. Listeners, let us know if that's something you'd like us to do. Okay. Jeff, before we wrap up, please tell our listeners how they can support our channel.
Sure. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Share the show with everyone that you know. If you are listening now, which you are, otherwise I'd be talking to nobody. But go ahead and listen all the way to the end so we get credit. And if you have any of those email suggestions that she mentioned about movies or whatever else you want us to talk about, hit us up at hilarityenssuespod@gmail.com.
All right. There you have it. And as always, folks, we may not have all the answers, but we'll definitely make you think. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye for now.
Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Hilarity Ensues. Our fantastic music soundtrack is brought to you by TL Music Productions exclusively for Hilarity Ensues. Be sure to connect with us on social media by following Hilarity Ensues Podcast.